This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
Right now at 4, there's a new and safer option for Missouri parents who can't care for their newborns. Today, the state's first Safe Haven baby box was installed. Thanks for being here at 4. I'm Kay Quinn.
And I'm Brent Solomon. This morning, a dedication at the Mehlvi Fire Station. That's where we find 5 on your side's Justina Coronel. Justina, explain how these baby boxes work.
Yeah, Kay and Brent. So this process is quite simple on how to do this. So you open up the door, you place the baby inside, you close the door, and you walk away. Now this door actually locks up from the outside, and 3 alarms start going off, alerting first responders. And we're told babies are usually picked up in 2 to 3 minutes. From the other side, first responders gain access, make the first assessment before transferring the infant to the nearest hospital. Now the baby needs to be 30 days old or less. And with Missouri's Safe Place for Newborns law, this allows a parent to permanently give up a newborn up to 45 days old without prosecution, as long as it's done safely. We're told this specific Mehlvi Firehouse Station number 2 was chosen for a reason.
We wanted to make sure that the box was in a place that had a lot of traffic, because this will be broadcast out, the location of the box. And this was a natural fit. We also wanted to make sure that we could assist with the climate control. So if you notice, the box does go into an interior room in the firehouse.
Justina, can people already use the box?
Yes, they can already use the box. And when you actually look at the box, there's a number there and a number on your screen, which is 1-866-99-BABY1. You can actually call that number if you're using this box and connect to counseling services and medical care. Reporting in Mehlvi, Justina Cornell, 5 on your side. All
right, thank you, Justina. Today, charges were filed in connection with an accidental shooting that killed a 7-year-old boy in Berkeley.
Walter Macon is charged with endangering the welfare of a child. According to court documents, he left his grandson Darnell in the back seat while loading a truck yesterday morning. The boy then found a gun between the seats and accidentally shot himself in the head. We've also learned new information about a 5-year-old girl shot and killed in Belleville yesterday. Today, the St. Clair County coroner identified the child as Dariah Lathan. The shooting happened around 6:30 last night at a home on West Main Street. When police got there, they spotted a car associated with the home speeding away. The car was later found at the hospital, and that's where the girl died. Today, our crew spoke with a neighbor.
What goes through my head is like, I don't know how they were shot, so I'm thinking like, how did they obtain the weapon? Like better weapon safety protocols, like you need to lock your weapons up.
Right now, police are investigating what led to that shooting. They say they are not actively looking for a gunman.
Free gun locks are available all across the St. Louis Metro to help prevent these kinds of tragedies. They're available at St. Louis firehouses, St. Louis City Library branches, and select St. Louis County Library locations. We also have a list of area hospitals where gun locks are available for free. Just look for this story on KSDK.com. You'll find it in the As Seen on TV section.
Well, okay, another comfortable day across the bi-state. We're going to get a live image right now of downtown St. Louis. We saw a good mix of clouds and sun today, but our next weather maker is headed our way. Chief Meteorologist Scott Cano with the Weather First forecast.
And tomorrow, Brent, is going to be a weather alert day from your Weather First team, because we will be looking at some showers and some thunderstorms tomorrow, potentially a few stronger storms. But the severe weather threat, it's still kind of murky here this far out, believe it or not. There's a look at what's going on in Arnold with a partly cloudy sky. That sun has been pretty comfortable this afternoon. Temperatures climbing back into the mid-80s for us around the St. Louis area. And yes, it's slightly more humid than it was yesterday. We've also noted a couple of those clouds trying to grow into a few showers. Most of them have been north and east of St. Louis, and they've been pretty small, nothing substantial really, certainly not in our area. And the clouds will tend to thin out a bit as we head towards sunset tonight, dropping back to about 83 at 7 o'clock, then into the 70s for later this evening. So here's the lowdown. Our weather headlines: more storms tomorrow. A few strong storms are possible. We'll have a couple of waves. One's coming in the morning, probably mid-morning into the early afternoon, and then another chance later in the day. And the better severe weather chances look south of St. Louis. We'll get into more detail on this in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Scott. Today, President Biden and former President Trump are both on the road, both facing separate challenges to their political campaigns.
That's right. Biden's brand has taken a hit amid controversies involving his son, while Trump faces the potential for even more charges. NBC's Alice Barr reports now from Washington.
So I said, you know what, Ron?
The 2024 presidential frontrunners today staking out their positions in opposite ends of a divided country. President Biden beginning a western swing in Arizona, designating a new national monument near the Grand Canyon to protect against uranium mining.
I signed the largest climate bill in the history not only of the United States, but literally in the history of the world.
The president citing his environmental record in a battleground state that's suffering blistering, record-setting heat. An appeal to young voters countering the president's low approval ratings amid controversies involving his son Hunter Biden and lingering questions about his age.
I would prefer someone younger than the two candidates who are in the top right now.
Former President Trump speaking to voters in New Hampshire, making both his political pitch and his own legal defense.
There is more enthusiasm today than we ever had in 2016 and 2020. And the reason is because these people are so corrupt and they're so horrible.
It comes as the judge overseeing the 2020 election interference case against Mr. Trump ordered a hearing to settle his legal team's claims that a protective order limiting what the former president can say publicly about evidence violates his First Amendment rights.
A criminal defendant has the right to see evidence against him, but the public doesn't have the right to see that evidence.
Mr. Trump just one of the Republican candidates stumping in New Hampshire today as his former Vice President Mike Pence hit the donor threshold to qualify for this month's debate, while Florida Governor Ron DeSantis replaces his campaign manager in the latest move to reboot his 2024 bid. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Closer to home now, happening in St. Louis Hills. Voters deciding whether to raise taxes there to pay for more cameras and police patrols. If passed, the Prop S safety initiative would cost about $150,000 every year. Residents would pay an average of about $15 a month or about $180 a year. Currently, there are 142 cameras in operation in St. Louis Hills. Neighborhood safety leaders say they need more.
We don't have a camera for every block yet in our neighborhood. And ultimately that's the goal, is to have at least one camera per block.
Well, it's too early to tell whether the system is actually reducing crime in that area, but the technology recently helped police identify an accused child predator.
Keeping homegrown talent in Missouri, the new law giving businesses an incentive to hire interns.
And dozens of healthcare workers looking for jobs after the sudden closure of South City Hospital. The event giving them a chance to connect with a new career.
Ballpark Village transforms into school supply heaven. Who gets all these markers, notebooks, and erasers?